Meet my pet caterpillar. Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong channel. This is the bird channel. Oh, well anyways, meet my pet spray millet. This is sprouted spray millet. You can see my birds coming toward it. They want to eat it, but it does look like a caterpillar, doesn't it? It's, long like a caterpillar, and they walk like this, and they got all the hair sticking up. Oh, look at this, I love it. Anyways, today I wanted to make a video on how I sprouted spray millet. It's very nutritious and yummy for your birds. And it's a great way to get them to eat greens if they don't want to eat any greens at all or any fresh foods. Sprouted spray millet is a yummy, yummy treat. I like to use a spaghetti storage container. It has this long like a piece of spray millet. You can cut up the spray millet and put it in a different kind of container, or any kind of long container that'll fit the spray millet would work perfect, but this is what I like to use. I then fill the container with cold water. I rinse the millet really well to get rid of any dirt or debris. I hold it from the stem, rinse it that way first, and then I turn it around just so that the water will get in between all those little pieces of millet and to get the millet clean before I put it into the jar. I then put the cleaned millet into the jar. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than the jar, but it just kind of curls up and bend. And also sometimes it does float, so you may have to put something on top to keep the millet inside the jar, as it'll just float to the top and it won't stay wet. I used a small glass cup to make sure the millet was fully submerged, as it kept poking up above the water line, and I want to make sure it's fully submerged, and this is what it looks like. So now what I will do is let it soak in the water overnight, or for at least 12 hours. The millet has been soaking overnight. You can see the water's a little bit brown. It's just from the coloration of the millet and some leftover dirt or debris. So what I do now is I take the millet out and I disperse of the water, and I'm going to rinse the millet. I rinse the millet by holding it by the stem. I rinse it both ways, hold it from the stem, and then I turn it around and rinse it the other way, just so the water gets into every little nook and cranny. And then I bend it a little bit just to get right to the middle of the millet. And then I will let it drip a little bit by holding it by the stem, just so that it's not soaking wet. You have to keep the millet damp, not soaking wet, so it doesn't grow mold. And the purpose of rinsing it is not to grow mold. You just got to keep it wet. And then I give it a little bit of a shake, and then each day, I do this for each day for as long as it takes to grow. So here I just put it in a strainer, and I put the strainer on top of like a pot. You can use anything you want, as long as it's dripping somewhere where it's not dripping on your counter. You can even use a dish rack, which is kind of a great idea, because you can just put it the lengthwise here. If you're not using one or you got a spare one, you can let them dry this way. And this is what it looks like 4 days after. It'll start to sprout 4 days after. You can see little tiny little white little things coming out of the millet. Just barely. You see a few of them, but by the 4th day, so don't get discouraged. It does take a while. The 4th day, it'll grow. And then this is the 5th day. Look at the difference. I find it just goes faster and faster as the days go by. But this is what the 5th day looks like. And this is the 6th day. And this is the 8th day. It's looking good. And this is what it looks like at 10 days. Look at all the growth. I got different millets here. This one's more like a golden millet. This one's like brown. So this one, as you can see, is the one with the longest growth. So this one is the very first one that I sprouted, and it's 11 days old. But doesn't it look like those furry caterpillars? It kind of freaks me out, like a furry caterpillar. But look how long it is. See how long the grass is? And I'm going to let some of them grow really long and see what they actually look like when they're longer, because I can see like green little things coming out of here. So I just want to see how long it can actually get. So I'm just going to do experiments, because I never really let them grow beyond a week generally. So this one actually is 11 days. And these, I believe, are 10 days. Just 9 days. This is 8 days, and I find that this one grew a little bit different than these ones. These are dark brown, these are golden. Just grows a little bit different and actually looks a little bit different too. You can tell, you can see how they look like thinner than this one. Just looks a little different. Maybe it looks different because of the color, I'm not sure, like the color of the actual millet. But this is a golden one. This is really nice. And also, sorry, my birds are making so much noise. So that one was 11, I think 10, 9, 8 days. So this must be, yeah, 7 days growth. So this one's just starting to grow out. And they can eat it at any time. They can eat it as soon as it starts to grow out. Like it starts to grow around 4 days. So they can eat it then as well, because it's probably more nutritious as it starts to sprout. Just like when you sprout regular sprouts, it's more nutritious as it starts to grow. But you know, it's nutritious no matter, you know, how this looks. And then when they eat the greens, and it looks like actually like a sod of grass. Like, have you ever seen sod? You see the bottom of it? It looks like grass, like sod of grass. So they can definitely, you know, get nutrition from here when it's growing longer as well. But you can definitely feed it when it starts to sprout. But I love these. They just look so nice. And actually my birds are a little bit afraid of it at times. Sometimes they're afraid of it. So if you cut it up small, they're not so afraid of it. And you know, it just gives them, it might take a while for your bird to eat it because they don't know what it is. They see this big thing and they have no idea. But if you cut little pieces off of it, I'm sure they would eat it. It just takes some time. Some of my birds are afraid of it, and then it takes them a while to actually eat it. So I haven't sprouted millet in quite a while. So my birds were, you know, a little bit afraid of it, but some of them went right for it. So look, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. This one kind of almost is broken half here. And one thing I want to mention too, you want to watch out for mold. So you can actually see mold that'll be white and fuzzy, and you want to smell them. If they smell off or bad, you don't want to feed it to your birds. So this one actually looks, I don't see no mold at all, and it smells like grass or millet, but I don't smell mold. So make sure you look out for it. Even the darker millet, you know, sometimes I was worried if the darker pieces were mold, but they're not. They're even growing, so they don't really smell. But this one is my favorite. I like it how it's like kind of fat and round and caterpillar looking. So I'm going to go give it to my birds again. I gave it to them yesterday, but they weren't sure. My kakaraki was right into it, and my king parrot and my superb parrots, and I have quite a few of them really liked it, but the little ones, I thought the budgies would go right for it, but they didn't. But I'm going to give it a try again today. So let's see what they do. This is Summer, my kakariki. She's the first one actually to come to the sprouted spray millet. Very brave. And then Starfire, she's a turquoisine parakeet. She's the second one to come to the sprouted spray millet. My Java Finches. It's Nightwing and Nightshade. They really loved it. And Rosie Borks, that's a Raindrop in the front and Rosie in the back. Oh, here comes my budgie Splash, checking it out. Here he comes again. I thought the budgies would be the first ones to come to the spray millet, the sprouted spray millet, but they weren't. They were the most hesitant, but they did come at the end of the day. It's a little bit blurry, sorry, but this is the only footage I can get, but they're very quick. They have come, but I didn't get it on film, and the canaries seem to love it. This is Song. She's a female. She lost a little bit of feathers on her head. And this is Sherbird, my male canary. He's very shy of the camera, so he's very wary of me. I didn't want to film too long. And this is Dazzle, my Goldie's lorikeet. He's very brave to explore new food items.
my cockatiel. This is Monty. Willow. I hung it on the play stand as they wouldn't go to the top of the cage. They hang out on the play stand, so I thought I would move it here, and it worked. And here's Kingsley, my king parrot. He really loved it. He just wanted to eat the whole thing. Look at him go. This is Malibu, my superb parrot. And Marbles, my mustache parakeet. She loved it very much as well. They all loved it. This is Electra, my Senegal. She was kind of hesitant to eat it, but she did take off a piece and started to eat it, but she grabbed most of the millet part instead of the green part, but she ate some.
And I'm going to show you how to grow it and give it to your birds. This spray millet is 8 days old. It does take a while to grow, but I'm going to go through all the steps and show you how to sprout it so you can give it to your birds. Alright guys, you're going to eat it all before I can finish my video. Alright, so I'm going to get started and show you how.
To see more videos like this one and other videos about birds, click on the videos on the screen. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video.